It is the Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast for this week's FedEx St. Jude Championship, the very first leg of the PGA Tour playoff run. As always, the show is brought to you by Fantasy Golf Degenerates. Proud sponsor, Play ProphetX, which is
good save.
our sponsor for the show today. So as always, also use code FG Degenerates for 1.5% off over there on your first 30 plays. Kenny Kim, what's cooking, cuz?
What's up, man? We just got our 1000th unique winner on the PGA Tour, and it was Cam Young. A pretty impressive week by him. I know Baroff was big on him forever. I think he's still down, like lifetime.
Yeah, he's still down lifetime, but up emotionally.
After his W. I didn't watch much golf, but we'll talk about what we saw and stuff like that for this show.
Awesome stuff. Well, Kenny, no one got Cam Young in the comments for us. No one got the week before that. So we are now going to be giving away 3-month subscriptions for free to the people that comment in the YouTube comments below. Let us know who is going to win this week. You are usually going to be the first person to comment gets the win because we're only giving away one. But the first 3 people to comment with the winning name this time round, because we're rolling it over, because we love you guys, will be getting 3 subscriptions to My Model Maniac Patreon. Use code FGD50 if you want it right now. So, Kenny, Cam Young, out of nowhere, Mac Masner, Alex Noren, Mark Hubbard, some interesting names at the Wyndham Championship.
Yeah, I mean, didn't go the way I wanted to. You know, I had Nico, of course, and of course he blew up on Sunday. That one, I did have Chris Kirk, so that was nice. At least I got the majority of all my money back that I bet with the each way on that, with him coming in 5th. I mean, Cam just did his thing. He went out there and just shut it down on that front 9. He was already up 4 or 5 strokes going into Sunday, and he goes out there and just, wallops the field in that front 9. Just faded a little bit at the end, but it's probably to be expected when you have like a 10-stroke lead. You know what I'm saying? You just get it doesn't really matter at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't going to blow that. And the thing is, really hasn't blown many in his career. A lot of his runner-ups are like chasing, and he ends up in 2nd. There haven't been many times where he's been like in 1st, right? And then lost it, right?
The Valspar was pretty bad. That was his one signature.
I mean, like one or 2 out of 7. It's not like it was all 7 of those runner-ups. Another thing, I mean, he putted his ass off, right? He gained like 30 strokes putting, but he was like 150th 2 years ago, 100th last year. He's 6th in strokes gained putting this season. And that's what gave him the W. And it wasn't a fluke. I mean, he's been putting his ass off all year. It's the rest that hasn't been great. And it all just came to melded together and got his thing going. I personally didn't watch too much of it because I was at the lake in the mountains. It was a nice little getaway for the weekend. But when I got back, from what I saw, I mean, the dude was just dominant straight from the beginning on Sunday. There was no doubt about it.
Yeah. Second off the tee as well. That makes golf pretty stress-free because you're middle of the fairway. Around Sedgefield, you got to be in the fairway, and he obviously dominated in that department. So good for him. Hand up. I didn't think Cam Young would win a tournament. Like after how he's, gone through everything and, man, revitalized his game and guy's one of the best putters ever now, Kenny. He's just, which makes it hard to win tournaments because you can get a little jumpy with the putter. So the fact that he just kept his foot on the gas on Sunday is just incredible. So hats off to him. Shout out Alex Noren. He's showing up now. There's a couple guys. We should actually go through the FedEx Cup, Kenny, like some guys that missed the playoffs.
I mean, there's definitely a bunch.
Are there any names that you noticed that, like, ooh, not ideal type situation?
I mean, like home, of course, is definitely one of them that's up there. Let's take a look at these charts of people that's, Davis Thompson, he missed a putt on 18. He missed, I think it was a par putt on 18. He makes that par putt on 18 at the Wyndham. He goes into the Schmid. So that would Benny On is also another one. But these guys are probably going to play in the fall. They're probably safe to hold their card for 2026. I would expect. I think if you're in a top 100, you still get your card, right? Or I don't know exactly how that would work.
You gotta put your foot on the gas still to stay inside the top 100. You keep your points, so you've got a head start.
Right? Yeah,
but like guys that are like Tom Kim, Andrew Putnam, Garrick, those guys all need to get their stuff figured out sitting around there 99 in the field there. So interesting stuff. We're going to see some big names. I think the Rasmus Højgaard twins are going to win one, Kenny, this fall. I don't know who. Just might be method betting them all, both, to kind of win a tournament going forward. Yeah, but you were up in the mountains. You were by the lake, he said?
Yeah, so we went to the lake. I was going to go boating. It's different up there. My best friend owns a cabin up there, so it's really nice. We get to go up there a few times a year, right in northern Maryland, basically at the corner of Maryland, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. It's like an hour from Pittsburgh, a couple hours from Morgantown, 3 hours from D.C. And so we went out there Friday, had a good time, nice little bonfire, drinking by the fire and stuff like that. Always fun. And something about the air, it just tastes and smells and different up there. Just everything just seems more pure, more clean. It's a great way to go out and just get all the crazy shit out of your head for a couple of days. But it didn't really go the way that I expected. Saturday, we get on the boat. We bought a pontoon boat. First off, I was with his family. So it was his father, his two sisters' boyfriends, you know what I'm saying, me and the dad. They don't get along. So my whole thing was, I'm just going to eat like a 200 milligram edible and just put my headphones in and just relax. That's basically what I did. It was beautiful on the water. The weather was gorgeous, 75 degrees, sunny in the middle of August. Even in D.C., it was still like 80 degrees. It was a weird little cool down weekend on the East Coast, which is just great timing. And so we rent the pontoon boat. It's me, my buddy, and his daughter. He's got a cute little 6-year-old going into the first grade. Just a wonderful little girl. I love her to death. So we rent the boat. And so he's about to put all his stuff in like that little container where you put all your important stuff so you don't lose it. So the first thing he does is pulls his keys out and he fumbles his keys. Keys go flying over the side of the boat. Right. Keys just flying out. I looked at him and I expected him to jump in. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you still on the boat? Jump the fuck in and get the goddamn keys. Like, oh. And by then the boat was moving. He didn't stop the boat either. Like the guy was just lost for a second, right? And it's not like we did stupid stuff the night before. I mean, we were pretty good. In bed by midnight, woke up by 8 o'clock, had a good amount of sleep. And so he just sits there. I was like, go jump in and look for that bitch. He's like, I'm not jumping in. I was like, okay. I mean, it's not my car. The only thing that's left in the car that I own is my golf clubs. So obviously we can't get into the car to play golf on Sunday.
Oh my God.
So we didn't get to play golf on Sunday. But I mean, it didn't really mess with the boat. Maybe for him it did, because it was probably in the back of his mind the whole ride. We were on the boat, but beautiful boat, deep creek, beautiful lake. We were just cruising. Weather was great. Eating. Didn't really drink that much because all the kiddos and the family there. But I was high as a fucking giraffe's ass. That's for goddamn sure. By the end of the trip, I was just paralyzed in THC, which was fine because they were bickering. It's family stuff. I don't want to get in the middle of all that shit. Just let me be stoned and enjoy nature. That's basically what I did. It was great. The great thing about that area is it's a state park, so you can't build anything on the water. So literally, you don't see anything but nature. Like no hotels, no casinos, no nothing. Like a marina, couple of marinas, and a couple of docks. That's really all you see when you're on this boat at Deep Creek, which is great. You don't have to deal with, construction or, people building stuff and eyesores. It's all just trees and beautiful nature. So it was a great trip. And then Sunday comes around and 6 o'clock in the morning, we get up, or I get up and we leave for home because my buddy has a 9-10 hour drive basically ahead of him. Since we're driving back to DC for him to get his backup key, he's dropping me off. He's driving back to Deep Creek to go pick up his daughter, get his truck, and he's driving back to DC again to go home. So it wasn't that horrible for me, but for him, it was pretty freaking bad.
That is brutal, Kenny. Like, just you're just going along just fine, and then you fumble your keys, and your whole life just shits itself.
It literally could have been anything. If it was his phone, it would have been fine. If it was wallet, it would have sucked. But you know, you just
Yep.
call, get new shit. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? But the car keys, like you're just stuck.
And you don't
6
just carry a
hours away
spare
from
with you.
a backup
Yeah.
set on a Sunday when dealerships aren't open. So he couldn't go to like the Acura dealership like an hour and a half away in Pittsburgh, to get a
Oh
key
my
because
God,
there's
dude.
no way to get it. And these are like it's a newer car, so a locksmith could get it open, but then he couldn't start it. You know what I'm saying? They could because
Ugh.
it's entry. So it's a fob. It wasn't even a key, it was a fob. That
Oh
he
no.
so
Brutal.
yeah, he was screwed. But he made it back. We had a decent time. We'll probably go back again in the fall to play some golf. They got some nice courses down there. They got one course that I really like called 1,000 Acres. A beautiful course built on the side of a mountain. It's a lot of mountain golf up there, so the ball goes farther. It's fun. I've played there quite a few times in the last couple of years. Always a great trip. So I'm looking forward to going back probably after the Iowa trip here in the next couple of months.
Awesome, man.
I'm looking forward to playing some good golf because holy fuck, I had the worst time this weekend. I went to Michigan. Sorry I took the week off last week, but
Yeah,
we got it
thank
out.
you,
We got
man.
it out. But I went to Michigan to go sit on the beach for a week, which is awesome. And it was just like a really small town. And we played on the shittiest muni I think I have ever witnessed in my life. There was no fairway. It was just Cloverfield everywhere.
My God.
Like, oh, it was so bad. And they were turtleback greens, and the greens were just shredded apart. Like it was $22 with a cart, and you felt it every time.
And you got overcharged.
Yeah.
Wait, $22. I mean, that's like lunch.
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah, but there was nothing else better in the area.
For the same price as lunch.
Yeah.
You can't really expect that much, right?
No.
Pick in Iowa. I want to play good courses.
Okay, I'm going to be playing on Wednesday the whole day, as many golf holes as possible at one of the courses we're playing, Honey Creek. I've got a nice system figured out for us. I'm going to be putting it together, seeing when we can book tee times, all that stuff. Have a little golf
Remember,
trip.
one thing I want you to remember: Sunday football. So we should play Sunday like 7 a.m.
Cool.
So we can watch football.
Yeah.
Sunday
Cool.
afternoon.
And then we'll play nearby. We'll pick a nice spot nearby. That can be like the local one. I went up to Minnesota this weekend, and I actually had an experience where we're going to make it part of the show now. It's going to be an amazing bet. So go up to Minnesota. My wife, her best buddy lives up there, and we went up to go. She's pregnant, so we went and go visit her, share some paternity clothes and all these boxes and shit we took up there. And me and her husband went disc golfing both days, had a great time. You know what you do when you get disc golfing up in Minnesota. So we go to the gas station, we go and buy some stuff, and we busy checking out, and this gas station cashier attendant person was stuck somewhere between Hello Kitty and Sons of Anarchy, because he was this like 6'4" freight train in a biker vest with like a Sons of Anarchy like bib on the back, like whatever bike gang he was. I think it was the Night Angels or something. It was kind of crazy. But then he was wearing these headphones with these fluffy kitty ears on top, and like Morpheus from Matrix's glasses on his eyes. And we're like, what on earth is going on here?
I'm going to guess drugs.
I don't know. He was moving very slowly as well, like kind of like a Hodor or whatever, but it was wild. So we cash out and we get in the truck, and my buddy's like, man, I don't know if that guy was going to kick my ass or lick my ass. And I just completely lost it.
Our segment could be called Kick My Ass or Lick My Ass, though.
No, it's going to be called the Minnesota Gas Station Cashier Bet of the Week, because we're going to pick a guy that I've got high hopes for, but there's a good chance he licks my ass, but also there's a good chance he kicks my ass. So we're going to try and figure it out. We're going to work the segment in some way or another. But that was one of the funniest zinger punchlines I've ever had, like in a contextual situation. I burst out laughing. It was fucking hilarious.
So I do have a biker gang story. Wasn't planning on selling this, but since great segue here. So I used to date this girl in Franklin. She's from Franklin County, which is like the moonshine capital of the world. Like all those moonshine shows you see on the Discovery Channel, it's all based out of like Franklin County. That's where she's from. And so, we go to visit her sister and stuff, who had a nice little piece of land out there. And the closest bar was this place called TJ Fat Boys Barbecue. Okay. Basically a rough biker bar. The Pagans, if you guys are familiar with the biker gangs across the United States, the Pagans basically control that bar. I did not know this when I first went. And, back then, I'm very preppy, polo shirt, khaki pants, you know what I'm saying? Preppy guy, and we're in the middle of fucking redneck country central, right? And so we go to this bar, TJ Fat Boys Barbecue. And the first thing I notice when I walk in, when I get to the parking lot, it's like 30 dozen bikes, all Harleys, right? Not even a car. I'm like, okay. So I walk into this place with my white girlfriend, at the time, and we walk in, and it's like, when you during a TV show and the record scratches and like everyone stops and turns, that's basically what happened. Like the music stopped. Like I don't know who stopped the music, but somebody decided to stop the music when I walked in the door. And me, this 25, 26-year-old peppy looking Asian dude walking in to a bunch of rough dudes, rough white dudes. And you walk in, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna show any weakness. If I show weakness, that's when they'll come and they'll strike, right? And so we go in there. It's a pool hall, right? And back then, I was very, very good at pool. I was like the 3rd ranked 9-ball player in Blacksburg, Lynchburg, and Roanoke. At that time in my life, very, very solid. Won thousands of dollars playing pool, hustling people. Pool and golden tee.
Very preppy.
Back then was like 35% of my yearly income, right? Like just taking money from people. And so we walk in and get some drinks, and it's definitely a strange vibe. So what I do is usually when you're in a situation like this, you got to show them no fear, and you got to show them you're cool and you're not a loser, right? Or a fucking Fed, right? Right. Basically, that's what you got to figure out. So I put some quarters down on the table to go up against some redneck motherfucking bikers, wearing the pagan fucking vest. These guys are like true blue, and the pagans are basically like you think the Hells Angels are bad. If you Google the pagans, they might be more violent than the Hells Angels. Like, it's literally one of the most dangerous biker gangs in the world, right? Hells Angels is like a West Coast, west of the Mississippi. Pagans are like east of the Mississippi type. They run shit back there, drugs, guns, basically Sons of Anarchy. It's very, very similar. And so I put the quarter down on the billiard table, and I get up and I just start banging pool. I'm like good as shit, right? And the guys are like, wow, this guy could play, blah, blah, blah. And so, we get to talking, buy, a group of them some beers, and we end up having a great fucking night. Right? It was a lot of fun. Like they were all amazed in my pool game. They wanted me to come back and like hustle people at other bars. You know what I'm saying? To use me as like, to hustle people to win money. I was like, oh no. I gave him like my fake number. And I was like, sure. I was like, I'm never coming back here. So I was like, sure, hit me up. Gave him the wrong fucking number. But it was a great fucking time. I was there for 3-4 hours, shot the shit with fucking felons. It was a wonderful time, and all because I played pretty well at pool, and they were impressed.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I wasn't being a dick. Like when I used to play pool, in the 9-ball in that league, I was an asshole. Like because a lot of that shit's mental, right? You're playing against someone who you really, really want to beat because you hate them. I was the person that everyone hated. I got like suspended and like put on probation a few times in the league. And the thing is, like, I wouldn't talk shit to my opponent, but when I did good shit, everybody in the whole would know, right? So the first thing I would do is I would come in and I would play Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle on the jukebox. These all are on dive bars. So they all have jukeboxes back then in Roanoke and, in that area. And so I would play Welcome to the Jungle like 7 times in a row. Like I play. When I play. So I would just be like hitting shots, like air guitaring out, going wild. You know what I'm saying? Like I would take shots. Like my big thing back then was Rumpelmints. So, it's like 100 proof schnapps.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's to have them in Iowa. Yeah.
Also, if you are a single guy and you have like bad breath, like smoking or garlic, or you ate something you want to hit on a girl, go to the bar, get a shot of Rumpelmints. It'll freshen your shit right up. The go-to trick for me for single guys. And it also will open you up to talk because like one of those shots will fucking get you straight in the head.
Yeah.
And
It'll burn all the shit off your teeth.
And so I'm just, everybody else in the league who's a top player takes this thing seriously. They don't drink. You know what I'm saying? They're out there to like really, compete. And so was I, except I would be lit beyond belief. Just fucking 6, 7 shots of Rumpelmints in like a 30-minute match. Right.
Like the Happy Gilmore of the pool league.
It's basically, that's what it was. I was suspended a couple of times. People complained about me, put on probation. I was probably the most disliked person in the league. So people would like want to play me so they could beat me and shut me up. But they couldn't because I was so good.
God damn it, Kenny.
Because I was so good back then. It was nice playing that. But anyways, for the biker gang, ended up having a great time. The bikers are cool as shit. Because I mean, I have a criminality attitude to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understood, right? I mean, like, I get it. And they realize that, right? They realize I wasn't like just some nerd out there. I had different things going on at that time in my life. How about that? Okay. That could coincide with ways that they made money. Let's just put it like that. And so we had a lot to talk about. And it was great. I mean, like we had a great time. If I really delved into it, I could have been like friends with these guys. That's how much fun I had. But yeah, that's my biker bar experience with the pagan biker gang.
Incredible.
In Franklin County. So yeah, it ended up being like a lifelong memory, something I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. And thank you for sharing that, Kenny. Your story is always just peaches, buddy. Peaches. All righty, people. Should we get into some previewing of this week's first playoff leg for the FedEx St. Jude
Let's talk about these
Championship?
playoffs so real quick, though, man. Let's talk about, here's the problem I have with the playoff system. Like, the playoffs should get you more excited for golf. Like, I don't even want to do the fucking show. Like, we've done, it's just after the majors and after everything, after the Open Championship, it's such a lull, especially if you're grinding content for 30 plus weeks prior, right? And now it should be like the pinnacle or like one of the pinnacles of the season, yet no one gives a fuck, right? That's an issue right there that the PGA Tour has. I don't know how to fix it. I know Rory is skipping the first event and people are giving a lot of shit about that, but I don't really have a problem with that because people who bitch about the playoffs, the regular season having no meaning, right? Of course it has meaning. Rory can skip this event and he can still play the next 2 and still be in it, no problem. I mean, that's a big advantage. I can't hate on Rory for doing that. Who the hell wants to go to Memphis and play in 110-degree heat index for 4 days? I mean, not many people, right? I mean, so like I get that. And plus the regular season has their own little money championships. Like I think Schefter won like 18 million or something like that for getting first for the season in the regular season. I think what needs to happen is maybe if they do it like 70 people and then keep all 70 for all 3 weeks and make it like somehow make it cumulative, right? Like somehow make it cumulative maybe that would help get more people to watch. I don't know what can get people to watch, because the majors are such a big part that's really what anyone cares about, that it's extremely hard to make these playoffs mean something. I mean, the only thing that I could think, I don't know. Something has to be done, but I'm not sure what needs to be done. Do you have any ideas?
I feel like this is my third year in a row that this has been a conversation, just doing
It's a
this
conversation
show
every year.
every year. Yeah, and nothing happens. So
Okay. Well, I mean, it changed this year. You know, so the Tour Championship is just a free for all. You know, it just gets you there and then you compete. But like, I don't know how they can make it better. I mean, like, what would be more interesting is if they had a tournament for the bottom of the golfers, and then whoever can get to a certain level can get their tour card. That seems way more interesting.
It's called the fall swing, Kenny.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. That is
The entire fall swing.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is a fall swing nowadays. You are correct. I don't know.
I think there needs to be elimination quicker. Then the stakes need to be higher sooner. You know,
But
like
what stakes are there other than money?
just playing. You know, like if you get knocked out early, you're out. But
Because we've seen that money doesn't mean much. You see, like, people don't watch live that much in the United States. That's, you know, it's money centric. People don't watch the playoffs, and that's really all about money, right?
Yeah.
It's not, there's no prestige, there's no honor, right? You know, in winning this, it's just, you get $20 fucking million, which is great, right? But I mean, like, these guys are already making so much. That's not what people want to see. So, I mean, that's the issue. I don't know what the fix is, but at least they did something different.
do something different.
They got to keep tweaking until something catches, and I don't know what that catch will be.
Yeah. It's also like, I think whittling it down to only 30 people ultimately is also the problem. Like, making it there, then you get there, then it's just what? Like, congrats. You know, that's pretty much what all these guys play for. Adam Scott
I'd love to
has
see match play as like degenerates.
Yes.
Because match play doesn't get ratings, right? That's the only issue. Like, match play doesn't get ratings. We've seen it from the World Match Play that was on for a decade. It basically had the worst ratings of every tournament. Look at Zurich, which is like not match play, but like another tweak, right? It has the worst ratings of any tournament that we get. Like, so I don't know. I
think round robin match play, Kenny,
because it doesn't get enough of the casuals, right? So I don't know how we can get the casuals and the diehards to get something that we both would like at this point of the year. I think maybe, quite possibly, the thing that needs to happen is you take the PGA Championship out of May and you move it to August, and you have that be the end of the season, last glory, and just end it there. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. That might be what they have to do, to just move one of the majors to the end of the year, so these last few weeks after the Open Championship aren't such a lull.
What if they did match play for all three legs? All 70 people, you re-bracket it up after the first go around.
I mean, it'd be great for us, but like I said, the casuals aren't going to watch it.
Not even if you're not eliminating anyone. There's not going to be that Sunday with only two matches going on. You're going to see matches nonstop,
like
and then you're getting points.
So you get points, and then that's a couple of weeks, and then the final week is like the single elimination. You know,
no, there's not even elimination. You're just constantly playing match play until the final, like the 12th round. Basically, you're going to have 12 different matches because it's 3 times 4, and boom, then whoever has the most points by the end of it. And as you go from week to week, you can then you put all the people playing against each other with each other. You know, like, you keep reseeding it so that those pools have the people that they're contending against. You know,
like a 1 month long match play finale to end the season, right? Maybe
a battle royale, like
better than what is happening now. Yeah, that's for sure.
So,
all right, well, let's get to this week. The FedEx Cup playoffs begin this week as the top 70 in FedEx Cup rankings head to Memphis, Tennessee for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. The tour has played at TPC Southwind for like 30 plus years, but this is like I think the fourth time it has hosted a playoff event. Before that, it had really strong fields with WGC. So like the last, I'd say 6-7 years here have been really, really, really strong fields. This week is no different, right? Everyone in the field will try and get into the top 50 in FedEx Cup points so they can advance to next week's BMW Championship. Golfers outside the current top 50 really have a tough hill to climb. Only a handful of golfers have moved into the top 50 after this. I know like a couple of years ago, it was only 2 people. I think it might have only been 2 guys last year, too. Don't quote me on that. But so I won't be, looking at that for any type of motivational factor narrative just to get into the top 50. It's tough. It's hard, right? I'm not really paying attention to that too much. I'm basically projecting this as like a regular signature event, basically, is how I'm about it. TPC Southwind is a 7,200 plus yard par 70, 4 par 3s, 2 reachable par 5s. This course is routinely one of the 15 most difficult courses on tour. The back 9 is especially tough, as the par 5 16th is the only hole that plays under par. The par 3 14th, always in the mix for the most difficult par 3 on tour, and the final 2 holes are incredibly hard. On average, there are over 200 bogeys or worse on the final 2 holes every time this tournament is played. Now, off the tee, golfers will see narrow, zoysia grass fairways that are very difficult to hit. If the golfers miss the fairway, which they will have to deal with some trees, bunkers, and a good amount of water. Speaking of water, even though it's only in play in about 10 or 11 holes, more balls have found the water here at TPC Southwind than any other course on tour since 2003. A good way to like look at that as a stat is probably double bogey avoidance, right? I mean, double bogey avoidance, you're in the water, double bogey is pretty likely, right? Is what's going to happen. So like that's a good way to look at it for stats. Now TPC Sawgrass is the next closest, and it has like 1,500 less water balls since 2003 than TPC Southwind. Now, luckily, the rough is usually not too tall, though has been a bit higher since the WGC and the playoffs have come. But it's not like crazy. So both supremely accurate golfers and golfers hit a mile but don't miss too wildly, they should both be in play. In reality, the event is going to be won on iron play. All right. Stroke gain approach has been very strong for previous golfers in contention here. On approach shots, golfers will see smaller than average greens with bunker and water surrounding them. A lot of approach shots come from 150 to 200, like more than half of the approach shots will come from 150 to 200 yards. Lots of long par 4s on this course. Nearly half of all approach shots, like I said, come from the 150 to 200 yard range. So finding golfers with good mid-iron games is going to be important. The greens are tough to hit. Undulating, use Bermuda grass, and are firm and quick with a Stimpmeter rating of around 12. A lot of par 4s are from the 450 to 500 yard range. So that's another thing that you might want to take a peek about. Byron, what are you looking for in golfers this week?
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Kenny. From 100 to 200 yards, 3 of every 4 approach shots come from that range. 75% of shots from 100 to 200. So I'm looking at guys to make sure they can deal with those proximities very well. And there are specific people, for instance, Lucas Glover. He's fantastic from that range. When you get to 200 plus, he's pathetic. Doesn't have the juice to stick long irons like he used to. These kind of courses, looking for those kind of golfers to kind of fit themselves in. Also, what I've done, usually when I'm going DFS route, my approach metrics are strokes gain, 50%, and then good shot percentage. I'm looking for guys who constantly play aggressively, give themselves lots of birdie opportunities. Not this week. I've switched that around to poor shot avoidance. So remember, I always say a good shot is when you gain over half a stroke on a single approach shot. A poor shot is when you lose over half a stroke, aka hit your ball in the water. So looking for guys that have great poor shot avoidance ranges from 100 to 200, keep their ball in play, hit those greenie regulations, avoid the big numbers. I think those will be some numbers I'm looking for there. And then just who's driving the ball well right now? Like you said, Kenny, it's like a 7,200 yard golf course, but most of these par 4s are like 450. And you can't just be hitting 3-wood off the tee, 3-iron. Like, you're going to be hitting driver if you want to score. So you've got to be driving the ball well right now. So that's important to me. Strokes gained putting on Bermuda grass, as always, is going to be a key metric for me as well. A little bit of course history, but nothing too crazy. It's not super sticky when it comes to course history. So that's basically it for me. The missed fairway penalty here, Kenny, was less than Sedgefield, last week, which is kind of interesting to note. And I'll also be just looking for strokes gained Florida, looking at TPC Sawgrass, Valspar, all of these courses with all the water, the Cognizant Classic, these are kind of venues that it's basically, it's like you're just taking it and just throwing this golf course from Memphis in Florida. It's absurd. So that's basically where I'll be looking at this week. Let's go.
What do you want to do first? We do ProphetX? No, or the betting card?
Let's do ProphetX. Let's get that one out the way.
All right, make sure you go to play ProphetX. Go to play ProphetX. Use promo code FG Degenerates. Get yourself 1.5% back on every winning transaction. The ProphetX takes 3% if you win. See, that cuts in half. And that's going to be for the first month and your first 30 transactions. So go to play ProphetX. Use promo code FG Degenerates. I do have a ProphetX play already in the books, already matched. Right now. Nice. So I went ahead and took a Victor Hovland top 20, including ties. I know Bet365 has minus 138 for a top 20. Victor Hovland, including ties. I went and took plus 116. So I'm getting over 50 points better.
Let's go.
It's already been matched. Actually, I matched somebody else. Somebody else put that number out there. Wow. And then I went and snagged up every amount that I could of that. So I went out there, I took Hovland, top 20. I'll talk more about Hovland later on, of course, in the betting segment. He is one of my bets. But I saw that out there and I had to go ahead and take it. So make sure you go out to and check the lines, see if there's any wild shit going on. That was wild. It happens sometimes. You just catch a random line someone puts out there and you're like, what the fuck? So I had to take that. I took I think it was $86 liquidity. I took that. Somebody had plus 115. So there was $26 of liquidity there. I took that too. So I went ahead and just took the Hovland. So go out there, make sure you check and see if there's any abnormal numbers, because obviously, 50 points of value. The guy must hate Victor Hovland. He must really think Victor's going to have a shitty fucking week to put that out himself. And so I went ahead and matched it. So that was my play ProphetX play. Other guys that I'll be looking at this week, probably for top 20s, would be like a Xander. If I can get minus 150 or something like that. I think most books have him at minus 200. I think he's someone that I'll be looking at. Yeah.
I'll give you one of mine that I'll be looking at for sure. I've already bet it in the actual betting market. So I've actually thrown out a big number out there on Play ProphetX. It's Russell Henley for a top 10. If I tell you some stuff about Russell Henley, Kenny, he's been on an absolute heater right now. The last I've used to call Russell Henley Sex Panther because 60% of the time he was inside the top 20 all the time. Russell Henley is Sex Panther Platinum right now, because 58%, 60% of the time, Russell Henley's sitting inside the top 10 every time. The Sex Panther's out here prowling, and he's plus 190 for a top 10. So if you're in the mood for Russell Henley to do that, he's doing it 60% of the time. It implies a 34% probability rate. So it's almost half of what the book is telling you it should be. He's actually eclipsing it. He's four on a trot. Two majors, including that 4-run stretch. He's finished inside the top 10 there. He's had 2 top 10 finishes here in the last 5 years as well. This golf course, think about the Cognizant Classic. All the courses that Russell Henley plays well at, Bay Hill, that's still a Florida water-infested golf course. He does fantastic stuff. So Russell Henley top 10. I got a plus 190. I just threw a plus 250 out there while we were doing the show. So we'll see if someone can bite on that as well. That is my final bet with our pretend money. because Bryson took me to the cleaners. Xander took me to the cleaners in the 2 majors we went, Kenny. And then Aaron Rai made birdie on the final hole on Sunday to beat Matt Fitzpatrick by 1 stroke. So tough scenes there. So I need this to keep me out of from reloading. Some serious
I
situations.
haven't reloaded yet, so I'm still getting the money that they gave us on there. So that worked out. But let's move on. Let's go to our kickback golf betting segment for the day. Go to kickbackgolf.com. Use promo code FGD 15. Right? Use promo code FGD15. Mike's showing you all the cool stuff right now that Kickback Golf sells. Golf jerseys with your favorite golfer's name, their college, their a major that they won, what country they're from, the Sung J.M. Korea basketball jersey, all that cool stuff. So make sure you go to kickbackgolf.com. My first bet for this week. It's going to be pretty simple. I've bet him a lot this year, and it better pay off. It's going to be Xander Schauffele, 20-1 with 3 places. I went ahead and took the 3 place so I can get the 20-1 coming off his first back-to-back top 10 performances, this year at the Scottish and Open. Gained 17.4 strokes total on the field in those 2 events. Gets hot this time of year. 7 top 5s in his last 10 playoff events. 8 top 10s in his last 10 playoff events. Won a gold medal at the Olympics this time of year. For some reason, Xander gets hot this time of the year. He's coming in with his best form of the year. I'm going to go ahead and take Xander 20-1 with 3 places. Next, it's going to be Victor Hovland, 30-1 with 8 places. Elite iron game, right? His gained strokes with irons in every event this season except the Century. And those are the ones where it's recorded strokes gained. First in the field in proximity from 150 to 175 and 175 to 200 in the last 24 rounds. Has improved his finishing position every year that he has played here. 56 his maiden year, 36, then 20th, then 13th, and runner-up last year. So I do love Victor Hovland 30-1. I think both of those are going to be pretty chalky. It's fine. It's betting. It's whatever.
I'm on Victor with you, Kenny.
My third bet, and I only have 3 bets so far. I think I want to wait. I'll probably add 1 or 2 more onto the final card. Make sure you go to my X account at KendoVT to see my final card on Wednesday afternoon. My final bet's going to be Wyndham Clark. 40-1 with 8 places. Had his best approach week of his career at the 3M, his last time out. Gaining almost 10 strokes with his approaches. Coming into the week, playing his best golf of the year. 3 top 15s in his last 3 events, including a 4th at the Open Championship. Had a strong finish here last year as well. Other guys that I will be looking at, Cantlin, Bobby Mack, Lowry, Harmon, Decky. Those are other guys that I'll be looking at as the week goes on. I'm hoping for a little bit of drift because the numbers were not great this week. So I'm hoping as the week goes on, there's a little bit of drift on something, and I'll have the rest of the card for on Wednesday. So my bets are going to be Xander 20-1 3 places, Hovland 30-1 8 places, Clark 40-1 8 places.
Love it. I'm going to expand a little bit on your Hideki situation, Kenny. I'm betting Hideki Matsuyama 40-1. Let's go. The price on DraftKings. I'm not betting any of these with each ways. I'm all on DraftKings. It seems like the prices are the best out there. There's like 10-point differences between a 25-1 with places and 35 over DraftKings. So I'm kind of just ditching the places. I'll subsidize the outrights with placement bets.
And I might add some without Scotty. Also, these are all with Scotty.
Yeah,
I might add without Scotty as the week goes on.
Without Squatty is where we're going to go with Hideki Matsuyama. Think about what he did last week at Sedgefield. I love guys that played well at Sedgefield because the course translates so well. It's a similar kind of situation, a little shorter Sedgefield, but this golf course is a great kind of second step for these guys. Hideki was 5 over par on hole 11 and he made the cut, Kenny. Like, he hit his ball out of bounds both days over there. He's playing with a second sleeve of golf balls on round 2 on hole 11 because he just nuked it out there. So his irons are sizzling right now. he is going to be my Minnesota cash era bet of the day. He's either going to kick my ass or lick my ass. And he hasn't had a top 10 since the century, Kenny. That was his win. But this could be the time that Hideki just jumps out and starts tongue punching fart boxes. I think this is exactly where we're looking to go with Hideki Matsuyama. The driver is whatever. It's always going to figure itself out, but the iron play is too good. He's pretty solid on the Bermuda side of things. The putter was dialed last week too. So Hideki Matsuyama, my guy. I'm in on Victor Hovland with you. Top 2 in multiple approach metrics that we're looking for on approach. If you're looking for, like you mentioned, this golf course dominates on approach. Victor Hovland's almost won this thing once or twice. I've been on him here multiple years. I think he gets it done this year. 35-1 is a great number. Ben Griffin, 40-1. He's 40-1. Like, let's go. I think he's constantly flirting with top 10 numbers. He's always around the top 10. He's always around the lead. So we're going to get to a golf course now with Bermuda surfaces for putting. Ben Griffin's, been insanely good with his irons this year. Like, ridiculously good. And we're going to see him kind of dominating with the driver. If you drive it well around here, he can dominate with the driver. It sets up really, really nicely, So Ben Griffin at 40-1, he hung with Scotty at the Memorial. I'm not worried about the moment being far too big for him. He's been so consistent.
But I can only get 35-1 with the 8 places, and it's just too short for me.
Yeah, 40. This is 40 outright, straight up. So
I was thinking about him for a while. 50, and I would have bet him.
Yeah. So you never know. Maybe he's not getting respected nearly as much as he should, Kenny, in the outright market, in my opinion. And then Sepp Straka, 40-1 as well. He lost to Will Zalatoris here, right? A couple years ago, finished second at this golf course. He's very, very solid.
Too.
Yeah.
He's not been talked about too much. And I think this would be perfect for his game.
Yeah. If you look at like a long-term basis for Sepp, this golf course is perfect for him. There's no wonder he finished second, yeah. Those mid irons for him.
Numbers don't win that often. This guy wins.
He wins. These are all guys that have won this year or have exceptional win equity, So I'll go with the guy that's won again at Arnold Palmer Invitational, Russell Henley, 30-1. This dude is insane. He's got 4 consecutive top 10s entering this week, including the 2 majors, like I mentioned. So we're betting him top 10 there. He won at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He's used to taking down big tournaments. He's in great form. This golf course, when you're taking long iron out of Russell Henley's hands, the iron play from 100 to 200 is exceptional. He's great on Bermuda putting surfaces, top 20 in that department over the last 24 rounds. And we know what Russell Henley's capable of. He's 30 in my model, and he's 30-1, So I will gladly take Russell Henley. The easier it plays here, the better. That's what I'll be looking for there. Yeah. And then I'll give you another top 20 bet, by the way. This dude hasn't finished inside the top 5, Kenny, since the 2023 Charles Schwab. But God damn it, he finished inside the top 20 again last week for me. Harry Hall. This dude is the epitome of a safe top 20 play. He's cruising in the top 20 market right now. He's plus 150, and I took away the ties paid in full, so dead heats only. But Harry Hall in the top 20 market, Kenny, he finishes inside the top 20 49% of the time. So we're getting a plus 150 that's well below 49%. So we're really getting some good value on that market for him. I would not touch him with the 10-foot pole in the top 5 market, though. Like, he just doesn't do it. He's got 0 top 5s this year. Same as Xander Schauffele, by the way, has 0 top 5s this year. So if you want to find a ProphetX play, you could hedge against yourself almost and bet a not top 5 for Xander, as like an anti each way, which is a weird situation to think about. But yeah, so I figured I'd throw that Harry Hall out there and then my Russell Henley top 10 play. So that's what's cooking on the kickback golf side of things for y'all. Use code FGD15 to get yourself 15% off on some sick merchandises. Kenny, blood, sweat, and DFS tears for this week's FedEx St. Jude Championship. What are we doing at the top of the board with Scotty Scheffler sitting at 13K, Xander Schauffele 11-1, Justin Thomas 10-2, and Russell Henley 10,000 flat.
Yeah, well, Xander's my first cash game cornerstone. Spoke about him a bunch already. Very, very high floor that Xander has. Again, he's coming off his 2 best appearances this season, back-to-back top 10s for the first time. And this guy just gets hot when the weather gets hot, right? I rattled off all the shit that he's done at the playoffs, and this guy is just a playoff machine. So give me Xander as my first cash game cornerstone. JT's going to be the lowest owned in the 10K range. And like the thing about it is when you have guys like this, an elite field event, it's always usually works out well rostering the lowest owned 10K guy. I don't have the numbers, right? But like just to get that leverage, right, on the field where you're going to have 40 to 50% Scotty, you're going to have 20 to 30% Xander, you're going to have 20 to 30% Henry, right? So numbers wise, I mean, JT can't be more than 15%. I would doubt, right? I would say he's going to be 15% or less. He's going to be a third of the ownership of Scotty and maybe half of Xander and still a lot less than Henry, right? And then, you know, you go out there, I think him or Fleetwood are going to be the 2 pivot plays. I haven't decided which one I am going to play, but those would be the pivot plays in this higher range. I'm going to play Scotty in one of my lineups. Scotty's going to be 40 to 50% owned, and he should be. There's no doubt in my mind about that, but that also brings out how roster construction is going to be because Scotty's 13K, right? So you got to figure the 9K other than like Hovland, you know, you're not going to be too many paired up with Scotty in that range. So what you can do if you want to be different with Scotty is go with a guy in a 9K range because most people are going to jump from Scotty to the 8Ks because there's some good golfers in the 8K range. If you want to automatically be different, go Scotty Cantley or something like that, right? You're automatically going to be different at that point in time. You still got a 9K guy, and then, you know, you just got to slumlord the 6K range and find some guys, and this is a signature event. There's going to be some guys in the 6K range. I think you sort of have to play Scotty if you're going to mass multi-enter. I don't think this is one where you fade him. Now, those are the guys that I'm going to play. I'm thinking about JT, and I'm thinking about Fleetwood because I think both of those guys, even if Fleetwood's 9.9, I think both of those guys are going to be a lot lower owned than the other 3 that we're talking about. I'm going to use one of them to be my leverage play, my high-end leverage play in one of my lineups.
Yeah. I'm showing my screen now, and Scotty Scheffler last year was 38% owned at $12,400 ownership for the FedEx St. Jude. The next highest owned option was Colin Morikawa, 24%, Kenny. So I don't really see the other guys south of Scotty catching that much steam. I think, you know,
20 to 25% for Xander, 20% for Henry.
I'd probably say the lower side of 20s versus pushing 30, you know, because there's a lot of good options in that range too. So Scotty is probably going to be in that same area too, you know, because he's now $600 more expensive than he was last year too. And he's probably playing about as good, you know, maybe.
He's playing. I don't know. You're right. He's probably playing as good now. Yes.
Yeah. So I think we can expect a similar kind of ownership metric there for Scotty. I think I'll be going with Russell Henley and Justin Thomas as well. You know, if I'm not going with Scotty there at 13K, because like you mentioned, JT, he checks a lot of the comp courses, Kenny. He's Innisbrook, you know, he almost wanted Innisbrook, Harbour Town, these shorter kind of courses, but he's also on Bermuda surfaces, very, very solid. So looking forward to JT there. And, you know, like he shouldn't really be in that range. Like, you know, like I can see Matt Fitzpatrick being higher than Justin Thomas, Tommy Fleetwood. Russell Henley should definitely be better than Justin Thomas price-wise. You know, like I think he's a little outcast in that range there. But in the 9s, Tommy Fleetwood, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Ludwig Oberg, sitting over here too. Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland. At the bottom of the 9K range is Patrick Cantley at $9,000 flat. Kenny, Cantley, you mentioned you kind of got your eye on him. Are you going to be looking at Patrick Cantley in any capacity?
Yeah, Cantley's going to be my hustler play of the week this week. I'm going with Cantley. Ownership might be low. as people are turning on him because of a so-called poor season, right? Yes, he's sucked at majors. He's been horrible at majors, but he's been really pretty damn good at signature events, right? 15th at the Century, whatever. 5th at the Genesis, 12th at the Players, 13th at the Heritage, 4th at the Truist, 12th at Memorial, 12th at the Travelers. That's top 15s in 7 of the 8 signature events this season, right? 1 stroke better in each of those events. And he's looking at 6 to 7 top 10s in signature events this season. Would that change your attitude about Patrick Cantlay? If it did, it's only 1 stroke difference in 6 to 7 events. And he would have been top 10 in 6 to 7 signature events if he was 1 stroke better. Right?
But he wasn't because he's a pussy.
But one stroke in a grand scheme of things in a tournament is basically nothing. It's a missed 3-footer is what it is. Right?
Yeah.
And
sure.
that's what the difference is. And so if he had 7 top 10s in signature events, do you think people would be looking at him differently? I would say yes.
Yeah.
Right? I would say yes. That people would think he'd been having a different type of season. And it's literally 1 stroke in each of those signature events. If he was 1 stroke better, he would have 6 to 7 top 10s at signature events, right?
Yeah.
Now, his ball striking is still elite, gaining off the tee in every event since the Players, and gained in all but 2 events with approaches since the Players. Top 10 from 150 to 175 in his last 24 rounds. 3 top 15s, including a second at St. Jude in his last 6 appearances. Surrounded by Hovland, Burns, Decky, who will probably eat up a good amount of ownership. You might get, if we're lucky, 10% or less. Patrick Cantlay, maybe 12% or less.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be highly owned. People just don't like him. He's not on the level of Patrick Reed or Wyndham Clark yet, where their ownerships are so skewed low just because people hate him. It's not at that level, but it's getting there. It's getting there. And so I'm going to go ahead and have Patrick Cantlay as my hustler play of the week. I think his floor is real fucking high. And I don't think people are seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's top 10 in top 20 rates, Kenny.
Miscut at the Open, miscut at the US Open, miscut at the PGA Championship, right? Again, everyone revolves around the majors. Everything revolves around the majors. He's been dog shit at the majors. No doubt.
Not a major. It's a playoff event.
Fucking major, right? This ain't a major. I'm going to go Patrick Cantlay, hustler play of the week. My second cash game cornerstone is going to be Victor Hovland. I'm going chalk up top with these 2 guys. I like Victor too much. He's been playing, like I said, iron game has just been so good. First in the field from 150 to 175 and 175 200 at elite iron game. As long as he keeps hitting the fairways and he's the greens more often than not. If he has a high green and regulation percentage, he's going to be in contention.
If he doesn't put himself out of the tournament. That is my biggest concern with Victor Hovland, is that you just literally closing your eyes, when you are it's so bad what's going on with the putter at times, Kenny, but mainly around the green, like you mentioned. But like you said, with such elite ball striking traits, he's going to be chipping far less than everyone else. He's also chipping far worse than everyone else too, but he'll be doing it less, which is a great kind of correlation when you're looking at Victor Hovland and why he's had success here in the past. Love him as well. Tommy Fleetwood seems to make a lot of sense, Kenny. I think he pops hard for me. He's super, super consistent. He's finishing inside the top 5 in like 1 in every 3 starts, if you look at the last 12 months. So he's got some upside. Is he going to win the tournament? Cam Young, Thomas Dietrich have won golf tournaments this year. Tommy Fleetwood's there holding the broomstick. I think I saw he's won like, is it $30 million on the PGA Tour without a PGA Tour win. I shared that by Golf Digest. They made like a who's won more than $10 million on the PGA Tour without a W. Tommy leads that list in a big, massive way. So maybe he gets across the line, maybe he doesn't, but either way, great safety, decent amount of upside for a guy that's probably going to be your second click. So I like Tommy Fleetwood a lot there. Won't be playing Colin Morikawa, won't be playing Ludwig Oberg. And I think Matthew Fitzpatrick finally finds himself again in a much stronger field. I mean, playing a lot of golf too. he's been playing a lot of golf, so I'll be out on him as well this week. In the 8s, Kenny, where do you want to be going with Sam Burns, Seb Straka, Keegan Bradley, Corey Connors, Harris English? Some fun names that can be clicked if you don't really indulge in the 9s.
I think Burns and Decky are fine plays, but I'm going to play. I think Straka's the pivot. I really do think Straka is the pivot from Burns and Decky. Burns has amazing course history here. He's almost won. He should have won. Late in the year. Decky, of course, like you said, had a really, really good final 60 holes at the last week. And he's coming on strong to a place he won here last year. All right. So I think it'll be popular. I think Straka makes for the thing about Straka is he wins more than all these guys. He wins more than all these guys. His iron game still elite, 6th in the field. His bogey avoidance 3rd in the field, both in the last 24 rounds. Oh no, I lied. Oh yeah, it's 6th in the field. Yeah. Pretty good from 150 to 175. He's 22nd and 27th in this field, right? I think he makes a lot of sense, and I think you can get him a cheaper ownership than Burns and Decky. Other guys I really like Ben Griffin, like you said. I thought about betting him. I just couldn't get him at the 35 to 1 number. I just couldn't do. Iron game strong. He's still trying to prove that he deserves to be on the Ryder Cup team, which I think he should be, especially a really strong performance last week, which is, I think, a big deal for him for that Ryder Cup, that people don't think he's just fading off as the year goes on. I think he still has something to prove for that. And I think everything lines up correctly for Ben Griffin. And I'm going Goddard too. I'm not going to stop playing the hot hand just because he took a week off. 3 straight top 10s, right? I'm not going to take, I'm not just going to, because he took the week off, his price seems very low. I'll go ahead and play a little Goddard this week. His tee to green, 2nd in the field in the last 24 rounds, 1st in strokes gained off the tee, last 24 rounds, 5th in double bogey avoidance, right? Top 10 in strokes gained around the green for Mr. Goddard in the last 24 rounds. Everything is working extremely well for him, and he still has to prove that he deserves to be on that Ryder Cup team. So I'm sure he'll be motivated to play.
Man, but he's driving the ball so well right now.
Yeah.
And I think at Bethpage, that just for an alternate shot, if you pair him with a poor driver of the golf ball and you just have, Goddard up doing off the tee work there, woo, baby, and like you mentioned, the tee to green game has just been sensational for him. I'll be looking at Seb Straka with you, Kenny, as well. He's my favorite player in this range, $8,700. He ranks 5th for me in my model, which is a massive difference between 8th and the DraftKings pricing. So getting a big saving over there as well. I'll be taking a peek at Keegan Bradley as well at $8,600. This is like a perfect golf course for him for his overall ball striking. Didn't quite get it done. I think you could see how pissed off he was to miss the cut at the Wyndham. I think he's going to be showing up. He wants to set an example and prove why he's going to pick himself in the Ryder Cup. This is the week for Keegan to do it. The statistics match up nicely. I think he's never played good golf here. I think it would be great if he did. So that'll go a long way there. Ben Griffin, we've spoken about him enough already. So I think he's definitely someone I'll be looking at as well, along with Hideki Matsuyama. In the 7s, Kendo VT. I check boxes, Kenny, where I check strokes gained off the tee last 24, strokes gained approach 100 to 200, easy, medium scoring, St. Jude history, concourse history, putting on Bermuda. 6 boxes. One person checked all 6 of those boxes this week. Any guesses who?
Bobby Mack?
Daniel Berger. He's a model breaker. He's like a wrecking ball. He's like the Miley Cyrus of the model world. It's kind of crazy what he gets up to. Sensational from 100 to 200. Great on. Think about what Daniel Berger gets up to in Florida. Why on earth would it be any different in Memphis? Because this golf course is basically a Florida golf course transplanted into Memphis. He checks all the boxes. So give me Daniel Berger at $7,800. I think he's going to be very popular.
Berger. I have him checked. I think I'm going to play him. He's 45th in my mind.
Yeah, he's 22nd in mine. Overall ranking wise, but I like to do the boxes to kind of just see, okay, do we have the X factors needed at this golf course? There's other areas of his game that are drastically poor, but sometimes I try and do that to kind of avoid in showdown. It works really well when I check all the boxes after every round. So it just tends to work for me, and it helps you look at a golfer in a different way. he does. Maybe there's a guy that's finishing 22nd in those box checkings when I'm only taking the top 20. That's why you go to the model rankings instead, because they consistently just outside the top 20. Daniel's inside the top 20 in this field for all 6 of those boxes. So he does a lot of shit right. Also does a lot of shit wrong when he putts and chips his way out of tournaments. $7,800. I love him this week. I'm going to plug my nose from Daniel Berger and hold my breath as I click Shane Lowry. Think about what he gets up to on Florida courses, you know? He's been playing like a total dumbass the last little while. Had enough time off now to just chill the fuck out. He was on edge. Bad hip face, all of that stuff. He checks a lot of boxes for this golf course.
The only issue is 110 degrees and he's fat. I would struggle.
He is fat, but you know what? He's been on the benders already. He's coming in nice and hydrated. You know, you might just get dehydrated on Saturday afternoon, you know, kind of wither his way through Sunday.
I was hoping people weren't going to click his name because I was hoping he would be the 7K pivot play. You like for you as well.
Yeah, he is my favorite play in the 7K range as well. You know, if you're looking for a pivot off of Daniel Berger, I think Daniel Berger could be the most popular play in the 7Ks. You know, maybe
Berger is the highest on the 7K. He's a fade for me. Exactly. Now, if he's going to be that highly owned, it's going to be a fade for me.
Yeah, he does a lot of shit right. You know, he's got great course history here, and you know he's 7-8. So that's someone I'll be looking at. Lucas Glover at 7K flat. Let's go. He putts a lot better on these greens than he does Wyndham, and it's a very similar kind of golf course. We saw, you know, Lucas Glover is top 5 in strokes gained from 100 to 150 and 150 to 200. You know, like that's his range. He falls completely out of the world when you're looking at 200 plus. He's like 58 in the field. You know, you're not going to have any of those long irons here, like I mentioned earlier. Love Lucas Glover. Denny McCarthy and Kurt Kitayama are 2 other names at the bottom of the 7s that I don't mind. In the 6s, Kendo.
Hold on. Let me go over my 7s. I like Bobby Mack's going to be my 3rd cash game cornerstone for the week. Yes, I don't like the way he looks, but I will roster him. All his top 10s this season will come on medium to very difficult tracks. 7th at the Open, 2nd at the U.S. Open, 6th at Colonial, 9th at the Players, 6th at Waste Management. Finished 7th here last year. Very good Bermuda putter. I am a fan of Bobby Mack this week. He will be my 3rd cash game cornerstone, and my final cash game cornerstone is going to be Chris Kirk. At I think 7,200. Gained an approach in 9 of his last 10. Top 10 in iron play in his last 24 rounds in this field. Well above average from 150 to 200. Pretty good around the greens. 2nd and 5th in 2 of his last 5 starts. Had a 16th year 2 years ago and a best finish of 6 about a decade. So my cash game cornerstones for this week are going to be Xander Schauffele at 11,100, Victor Hovland at 9,300, Bobby Mack at 7,700, and Chris Kirk at 7,200. I will let you know that Ben Griffin is in my cash lineup as well at 8,100. He's not a cash game cornerstone. I'm going to go with a punt. Someone 6,600 and below. Still haven't made a decision on that. I think right now I might have Finau plugged in or something like that, but I don't know if I'm going to go with that. It's just somebody
Fox.
I plugged in. I do like Fox's iron game down there. I'm a big fan of Lowry, just like you. Wyndham Clark is another guy that we talked about in the betting segment that I am going to play this week as well. And I'm looking at Spieth. I'm looking at Spieth again at that price. You know, the crazy thing about Spieth is he's first in double bogey avoidance in the last 24 rounds. And that includes the Open Championship. That includes the U.S. Open in those 24 rounds. And so he's first in double bogey avoidance in this field in the last 24 rounds. I don't know. I just have a feeling about Jordan. It looks like he's healthy again. He doesn't really have to, or healthy as he can be. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be very popular. I think he might be a pivot play for me in that 7K range.
Yeah, his upside is 16 for me. His DK price is 26th. I don't mind at all, Kenny. He's gained the 5th total strokes in the last 12, 8, 4, and 2 months. He's just been so consistent which is fine for his price. You know, I think if he was playing like this and was priced $8,800, it's a
It'll be
different
different.
situation.
Yes.
You know, he's just giving you such consistency at this price, like you mentioned. So I second that. He checks 3 of my 6 boxes, by the way. So good to see that from him. Now in the 6s, Kenny, who are you looking at? I like Foxy. I think he's a great option. Everyone, Nico Echeverria, fire his ass up again this week, baby. I think this is round 2. Same situation. Bermuda greens, you know, like similar proximity ranges. Let's go. You know, I think he's in great. He showed what he was up to through 3 rounds and completely shit the bed. So I'll be going back to him.
I don't think
Bud
the one
Coley
round,
as well.
I don't think the one round's going to take me off of him. He might be my final cash play. I don't know. We'll see when it comes down to it. I really want to play Gerard, but he's $100 too much. I only have $6,600 left after I roster those 5. So I do like Ryan Gerard with his good iron game. Tee to green play is exceptionally solid. Nico is definitely one that I will take a peek at. Matty Schmid. Now here's the thing. He's like one of the worst approach guys in the field, but he's 3rd in proximity from 175 to 200 and 14th in proximity from 150 to 175 in this field in the last 24 rounds, even though he's 62nd in strokes gained approach in the last 24 rounds. So his sweet spot for it, that means he just sucks with his wedges and he sucks with his long irons. But his strength, these medium irons, you know, he got in, you know, at the last second, literally has nothing to lose. You go out there and just fire at pins. You're the 70th person in the 70-man field. Go out there, you know, all your approaches are going to be from 150 to 100 to 200 yards. Go pin seeking there. That's your best area. Let me try a little Matty Schmid down here if you're going to go low.
Let's go, Kenny. Let's go. I don't mind him at all. You've seen what he can do at Colonial. Similar kind of you know, I've been using those as comp courses this week. Spoke about Bud Coley. Kenny, let's fire him up again. $6,100 checks 4 boxes. The man's name is Brian motherfucking Campbell, baby. If you're looking at easy scoring, if this course plays easy this week, the wind dies down and it lands up getting up there.
You know, it's
scoring wise,
not supposed to be windy as of now. Like, you know, the winner could be in the minus 20, minus 19. It could happen, especially
somewhere range.
There's always random thunderstorms that pop off. You know what I'm saying? It could play a little bit easier. And I thought about clicking Brian Campbell in the betting, like 225 with 8 places. I almost went 500 to 1 or something like that. Win only or plus 3 or with the 3 places because, you know, the guy wins or doesn't do anything. Right? Does he have any top 5 other than the wins? I mean, so maybe if you're going to bet Brian Campbell, it could be either win only or the top or the 3 places and get it juiced up to 500 to 1 for the 3 places, you know?
Let's go.
But when you look at people that have won this event since the WGC happened, it's been like elite dudes.
Yeah, Brian Campbell is elite. He's won twice this year.
Motherfucker's won. He's like one of the people that have won twice this year. So you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong.
He's obviously not elite in the term that we all know, but
yeah,
on paper, he's elite. 14th in this field from 150 to 200 in strokes gained. He's much better when it comes to poor shot avoidance than it is good shot rates. You know, so he's a better defensive golfer than he is a good golfer. If you're taking a look at what he's actually played here once, I think in 2017 or something like that. He actually played quite nicely too. So he's got a bit of form there. Checks a lot of boxes, Kenny.
Who's this?
Brian Campbell.
Oh, it's still Brian Campbell. He played here in 2016. Wow.
I think he's got a, I'm going to double check real quickly, but I'm pretty sure he had
WGC. So
yeah, it was. Yeah, T37 gained 0.6 strokes per round. So you made the cut in 2017. So, you know, you got the course history.
If you're playing Scotty and you want to play another 9K guy, you could do worse than fucking Brian Campbell.
Buddy. Yes. You know, I think it's a good course fit for him again. So we'll be going back. Checks a lot of boxes. It doesn't grade out well in the model. That's why you check the boxes, though, you know, like for guys like him. So let's see what he can do. Also, Aldrich is just interesting to me. I think I'm going to take a stab on him. He'll be less than 1% owned, right? Like no one's going to play him on this kind of a golf course. If he just dials that driver in somehow, like his problem was the chipping. Kenny, remember?
Well,
If
we
you can
saw at Colonial that he could play these type of courses.
Yes,
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I especially with how good he drives the ball. If he can catch fire with the driver, I mean, he'll have wedges in every hole.
And then he's not
just
chipping.
stay away from the water.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know how he's going to play. He's also $6,300. Nobody else will have him in his lineups. That's the deal you're going to take. I think it's fine like that. Love Ryan Fox and Michael Kim at $6,700 to round out the sixes. You don't want to keep your slider cups. I'm pretty much done with one and done, Kenny.
So one and done. I'm 116th in Mayo. I'm trying to get in. It's still winning like $1,200. I'm trying to get into the top 100 at least. Trying to win maybe $2,000. That would be nice. I think I got to be like 80th place. So I have Xander left in the Mayo Cup. I'm gonna play Xander this week. I also have Hovland left. I'll probably play Victor next week, and that's probably how I'm going to end the season. There, hopefully, I could, if somehow you pick up a couple of wins there, you can move up, inside maybe the top 50 or something like that. I don't think I can catch the leaders. The leaders are pretty. I'm at like 16
running hot
million.
Yeah,
I think the leaders are like 24 million or something like that. Yeah, it's like wow, they're like way up there. So I'm not gonna catch them, but if I can get to like 20 mil. That could be a nice little $2,000, $3,000 win, which would be nice for when I go to Tampa. I think there's casinos in Tampa. I don't remember. But I'm going to Tampa, I guess the week of the Tour Championship. I think I'm going. I'll be there. I'm going to play golf, or maybe we'll get out to Copperhead or something like that. But we'll see. It's the boys' trip. It's 10 of us. We're staying in 2 houses, and we're going to do our auction draft. So usually it's sleep and craziness that goes along. But it is Tampa, strip club capital. I will be going. So the women of Tampa St. Pete, be ready for me to spend some money, especially if I win $2,000-$3,000 in Mayo Cup. That will all be coming to you. I'll probably just go to Bare Assets where I could just pay $300 each time and just get multiple nights of good old meth addict sucking my dick. Sorry. But something like that. It'd be great. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. In the Slider Cup, I finished the regular season in second. If Nico could do anything, it might have helped me a little bit, but I don't think the first place guy would have dropped enough. So you get paid out in the regular season, just like the FedEx Cup, just like the PGA. So I could basically get my money back for finishing.
That's nice.
And then the playoffs is 3 weeks, and each playoff event is multiplied. So I think this one's multiplied by 4. Next week's multiplied by 6. The Tour Championship multiplied by 8. And so I saved a lot of strong dudes for it. Now, the issue is you get money like on a per week basis based upon skins. If you had like the lowest combined total, you'd win, and hole-in-one bonuses. I've won nothing all year, and I'm in second place. There's guys in like last place that's won like $700. So
it's like you're the Harry Hall. No top 5s, Kenny. You just top 20 all the time.
Consistent all year, basically, is what it came down to. I think I've only picked one winner in the Slider Cup. I think I picked 3 in the Mayo Cup. And I think all 3 were signature events. So that was huge in the Mayo Cup. I think 2 out of the 3 were signature events or majors. So that helped.
But the difference between salary
guys, but it's going to be big names because I saved them all for the playoff.
But like the Slider Club is points, right? You're getting the difference between first and second and second and third
is how many points you get. So if your golfer finished first, if your American golfer finished first and your international golfer finished 19th, you get 20 points. And you want to be the lowest point total.
Right. So like a second there is hardly any different to a first because compared to like the payouts that you get in salary
ones. A bunch of top 3s and top 5s.
So that's totally cool. Congrats, dude. I'm happy for you. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's $1,000 to the winner there. So, and all the skins for the week. And I think the hole-in-one bonus is like $700. So like if the golfer that you rostered gets a hole in one, that's almost as much as like second place in the whole
It's so random.
year gets.
Do you have Victor Hovland ever?
I have Victor. I don't think I'm playing him this week. Who do I have?
Because he's absolutely live for hole-in-ones, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing Victor this. Well, maybe I'll play Victor. I don't know. I'm not going to give it up because a lot of those guys watch the show and they're trying to, and maybe they want to catch me. So I'm not going to give it up. All I'll say is I have big names left for the playoffs.
Kenny's not going to give it up, but we're going to give it up for Play ProphetX. Go use code FG Degenerates to get yourself 1.5% back over there for your first 30 plays. We'll also be using code FGD15 for kickback golf paraphernalia that you can find that you saw on the screens earlier. Use code FGD50 for 50% off my Model Maniac Patreon stuff. Don't forget to comment below with you can comment up to the third person to win the tournament. You got 3 picks. It can be 3 Scotty Schefflers. It can be 3 Xanders, because we'll be giving out 3 free monthly subscriptions in the comments below. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Kenny Kim, get us the hell out of this week's
You can find
pod.
me on X at Kendo VT. I'll have my final betting card there. Definitely going to add some bets. I only have 3 bets so far, but I'm definitely going to add some bets there. Any extra play, ProphetX plays, any live bets, make sure you go at Kendo VT. It's the playoffs. It should be awesome. It's sort of not, but we grind out anyways. Let's win some motherfucking money. Degen Nation.